Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today we're going to tackle something that might seem, well, a little dry at first. But trust me, this one's important. We're talking all about queries in construction estimating.
Queries, huh? Sounds riveting.
Okay, maybe not the most exciting topic on the surface, but seriously, this stuff can make or break your project. It's all about those questions, clarifications, RFIs, those little details that can turn into major headaches if they're not handled right.
Yeah, I see where you're going with this. Especially when you're in the middle of a project and everything's moving at warp speed, it's easy to let those seemingly small things slip through the cracks.
Exactly, and that's where things can go south in a hurry. We dug into some great material from the Gold Seal certification program, which is a pretty big deal for construction pros up here in Canada.
Sold Seal, yeah, I'm familiar with that. They really emphasize the importance of clear communication and documentation.
Right, and it all comes back to those queries. So let's break it down. What exactly are we talking about when we say queries in the context of construction estimating?
Well, think of it as any instance where you need more information to do your job effectively. It could be something as simple as clarifying a detail on a drawing or as complex as challenging a scope change. The key is that every question, every request for clarification, every potential issue needs to be documented properly.
Okay, so it's not just about firing off an email or a quick text. There's a bit more to it than that.
Way more. Remember, this is construction. We're dealing with big budgets, tight timelines, and a whole lot of moving parts. A simple misunderstanding can snowball into a costly delay or even a legal battle.
So this is where those Canadian construction contracts, the CCDC documents, come into play.
Exactly. CCDC contracts really hammer home the need for things to be in writing. Notices in writing are a big deal. So when we're talking about queries, we're not just being sticklers for paperwork, we're actually fulfilling legal obligations that are there to protect everyone involved.
Okay, so good practice and legal compliance all rolled into one. That makes sense. But let's get practical for a minute. What are some of the best ways to actually manage these queries effectively?
Well, first off, timestamps are your best friend. You want to know exactly when a question was asked, who it was directed to, and when a response was received.
Because things can get lost in the shuffle pretty easily, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Especially on a busy project where you've got a million things going on at once. That's why having a clear system for tracking queries is crucial.
What does that look like in practice? Are we talking spreadsheets, notebooks, carrier pigeons?
Well, hopefully we've moved beyond carrier pigeons. Standardized templates can be a lifesaver. Whether it's an RFI, a change order request, or even just a simple question about a material spec, having a consistent format ensures you capture all the essential info every time.
Makes sense. So everyone's on the same page, speaking the same language.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of good old-fashioned meeting minutes. If something important comes up in a conversation, always follow up with written confirmation. An email, a formal memo, something to create a paper trail.
Because what's said in the heat of the moment doesn't always translate perfectly into action, right?
Exactly. Memories get fuzzy, details get lost. A written record keeps everyone honest.
Okay, so we've got timestamps, templates, meeting minutes. All this documentation is adding up. Where does it all live? Are we still drowning in filing cabinets?
Thankfully, there's a better way. Project management software has been a game changer for this kind of thing. Imagine having all your queries, RFIs, change orders, everything, all centralized in one system.
So instead of digging through mountains of paper, it's all at your fingertips.
Exactly. And it's not just about convenience, it creates that all-important audit trail. If there's ever a dispute or a question about why a decision was made, you've got the documentation to back it up.
So it's about transparency, accountability, and ultimately risk mitigation.
Nail on the head.
Okay, so it seems like mastering this whole query management thing goes way beyond just paperwork. It's really about setting your project up for success from the get-go.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about clear communication, thorough documentation, and building that foundation of trust and transparency from day one. And that makes a huge difference when it comes to completing a project on time, on budget, and with fewer headaches along the way.
Absolutely. So for all you listeners out there, next time you're on a job site and anything, seems even a little bit off, remember what we talked about today. Don't just let it slide. Ask the question, get clarification, and get it in writing. It might seem like a small step at the time, but trust me, it can save you a world of trouble down the road.
Totally agree.
Great chat as always. Until next time, folks, keep those queries coming.
Yeah.
In writing, of course.
See ya.